How to achieve your health goals. How to avoid failure when adopting new patterns. This is going to be a big one. It's that time of year, and on top of everyone's list is losing weight and eating healthy. Now, while this information might be relevant right now, the information I'm going to share really applies year-round. Most resolutions will be thrown out the window before Valentine's Day chocolates hit the shelves at your local store. Is it that we lack willpower or discipline? No, not even close. But to break the cycle of missed resolutions and health goals that we fell short on, we need to recognize the patterns. There is something incredibly synergistic about the way we make food choices and the way we live our lives. We choose convenience. When we choose things that are easy or fast regarding what we eat and our diets, we make similar choices in other areas of our lives. When we repeatedly reach for the glass of wine, even though our doctors told us that we should stay away from it, or we know that it doesn't do us any good, or perhaps that it affects our ability to get a good night's sleep. When we reach for gluten, even though we know that our body doesn't digest it and can't support it. When we reach for a morning cup of coffee because we're exhausted, when we know what we really need is to get a good night's sleep. When we pass through the drive-thru on our way home from work to pick up dinner when we know that it won't nourish us or sustain us. When we make these choices, which is one of convenience over sustenance, we choose ease over our well-being. To be clear, I'm not talking about the occasional treat that we allow ourselves. I'm not talking about that piece of grandma's coffee cake that she only makes once a year. I'm not talking about denying ourselves those simple pleasures. I'm talking about the things that we reach for on a daily basis. So, here are 3 steps to help you get ahead of this. You may want to go and get a pen and paper to run through this, and feel free to stop the video as often as you need to write down your thoughts and reflect on the questions I'm asking. Let's get started. Step 1. Take inventory. Take inventory of your diet. Look for areas where you're choosing convenience, where you're choosing things that don't nourish or sustain you. Look for the things that you reach for on a daily basis, even though you know you're not making the healthiest choices. Choices that will not support your well-being and certainly not support you in the long run. Take a minute and write those down. Now, step 2. Take inventory of the other areas of your life where you're making similar choices. Areas where you're repeating this pattern, where you're choosing convenience. Now, this might seem like an odd question, so let's reflect on this a little bit more. Is it in your relationships? Is it with your colleagues at work? Is it in your marriage, or perhaps with your spouse? Perhaps you're resorting to similar patterns in your career, or when it comes to setting boundaries, or establishing healthy limits, or establishing healthy goals and objectives for yourself. Where are you choosing convenience? We always know deep down what's right and what's good for us. Where are you choosing to ignore this inherent wisdom that you have and making the comfortable choice of convenience? Take a minute and write down your thoughts. Pause the video and come back when you're ready. Now, step 3. Here's the final step and the most important. You've just made 2 lists. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's where convention tells us that we need to change all of these behaviors and cut all of these foods out of our diets to be healthy or lose weight. Our problem isn't a lack of willpower or discipline, it's that we're trying to change too much at once. We set ourselves up for failure when we try to make all of these changes all at once, and then we end up overwhelming ourselves. Even if you're a type A personality, it's still incredibly difficult to change everything overnight. And that's why these resolutions and goals end up coming around year over year. Choose one action, just one, that you want to change over the coming months. There's no need to rush. We've got lots of time. So choose one thing and just one thing and concentrate on improving that over the coming weeks and months. Then, once you've cemented that, once that has become a part of your daily rituals, choose something else on your list and start to work against that goal. Start small. What is the smallest item on your list that you can tackle tomorrow? And this isn't exclusive to health goals. It applies to everything. Maybe it's drinking water with your meals instead of soda. Notice that I said with your meals instead of trying to cut it out completely. Start small. Just replace it at a meal. Gradually work yourself up to crowding it out of your diet by incorporating healthy alternatives. Maybe your diet is fine and you need to work on other areas of your life to support your well-being and your health. Maybe it's setting boundaries or incorporating daily exercise. What is the smallest action you can take tomorrow? Write it down and start with that. Now let me know in the comments below what small step you'll take tomorrow. And if you enjoyed this video, and I certainly hope you did, I'd be truly grateful if you shared it. Sending you love. Stay strong, warriors.